Are you getting kind of tired of dating apps and wonder where you can meet somebody in the real world? I've got some good tips. Hi, I'm Dr. Wendy Walsh for Local Now, and I am here for you. I specialize in the science of love. Yes, it's a science. The biological, the psychological, and the social pieces of love. And part of the science of relationships is about mate acquisition. How and where do we connect with somebody? How do we find a mate? In the last decade or so, it seems that online dating has become the only place to meet each other. But actually, a study done in 2012 showed that 50% of committed heterosexual partners met their partner in the real world, and about 20% of LGBTQ people met their partners in the real world. I know, that's a 10-year-old study, 2012. I think the most interesting thing about the research is it told very specifically where people met and what kinds of relationships they would find at different places. But I digress. You should know that in any given mating marketplace, there are people looking for short-term relationships and those looking for long-term relationships. Short-term relationships, leading with sex for a short period of time, friends with benefits, situationships, hookups, whatever you want to call it. It's part of human evolution. But then there are others, at a given time of their life, who are ready for a long-term relationship. So where does the research say you meet each of these kinds of partners? Well, not surprisingly, if you're looking for a short-term relationship, think of venues that involve alcohol that lowers inhibitions, or revealing bodies, which showcases what you're selling for your short-term relationship. So these would include nightclubs, parties, fraternity house parties, gyms, beaches. Think about it. Any place where somebody's inhibitions are lowered a little bit and also they're showing their body. Interesting enough, weddings also tended to be one of the best places to meet somebody for a short-term relationship. That was surprising to me. Now let's talk about where you want to meet somebody for a long-term relationship. In this case, you're thinking about common interests and a place where you can showcase your personality traits. So it starts with your neighborhood. People are meeting in dog parks. People are meeting in outdoor recreational parks. It also includes religious communities, workplace communities. Now be very careful. We are post #MeToo. You want to make sure that that invitation is welcome. People are also meeting at business conferences where there are leisure activities. So it might be somebody that you don't directly work with, but you can conference with. I think one of the best places to meet somebody, though, is doing volunteer activities. Because if a relationship is an exchange of care, and we know that care can take many forms, you want to choose somebody who has a long-term mate who can give that kind of care. So if you're volunteering together, helping others, it showcases empathy and compassion. The research was also really interesting because it showed that men say they look for long-term relationships in bookstores. Women look for long-term relationships in libraries. Okay, gentlemen, leave Barnes & Noble, go to the library. Or ladies, go to a bookstore. Fascinating that there's a gender divide in where people are getting their books. And finally, if you do spot somebody in the real world who you'd like to talk to, gentlemen, wait until she issues you an invitation. That means she's going to look at you and then look away when you try to meet her glance. And she'll do that a couple times, which means she's interested. Or she'll flip her hair, expose her neck. She might even look at you, but not the way men do. Men do the up and down checking out. Women sort of hold it for a little bit and then dash away. What do you say when you start a conversation? Always look for commonality. So if you're at the dog park, oh, I used to have that breed of dog. If you're in line at a Starbucks, oh, what game are you playing on your phone? I love playing games on phone. Whatever, look for something going on in the environment around you that you can both share a conversation about the commonality. And then you'll know as the conversation progresses if they're interested or not. It's time to get out, put a smile on your face, and say hello to a potential mate. Thanks so much for watching here on Local Now. I'm Dr. Wendy Walsh. If you would like to follow me on my social media, you certainly may. All across the board, the handle is at Dr. Wendy Walsh. I specialize in the science of love, so you'll get lots of relationship tips wherever you follow me. But I'm also always here on Local Now. We'll see you next time.